I'm a bodybuilder, and this is a gas station.
Usually attached to convenience stores known for late night snacks, lottery tickets, and alcohol, not where you'd expect to fuel your muscles.
But what if you're on the road the whole day? Is there enough high protein food to build muscle? So for the next 24 hours, I'll attempt to eat my full high protein diet using only gas station food. I'll break down the costs, calories, and macros for the day and see how it makes me feel to answer the question, can you actually build muscle on the road? Let's find out. While I'm on the way to the first stop, let me explain the rules to today's challenge.
Rule number 1, everything I consume today must be from a gas station, no exceptions. Rule number 2, I have to model my diet as close to my regular diet as possible. That means 4 to 5 meals with around 200 grams of protein and over 3,000 calories. Rule number 3, only one meal is permitted at each gas station to emulate a true road trip, no going back. And rule number 4, I have to rate every meal on a scale of 1 to 10 once I've completed each meal.
Sheetz is the first stop, and now that I'm here, let's get inside to see what gas station food I can find.
I walked in and was quite impressed with the selection, and they made it very apparent that you could get fresh food made to order every chance they got, but I was still suspicious, so I placed an order on the kiosk and only waited a few minutes before my food was ready.
First meal of gas station food for the day is now in front of me, and let me just start off by saying I am extremely impressed by Sheetz because I've never been here before, but when I saw they had fresh food made to order, I was very excited about that. I got 2 breakfast sandwiches here, and I was able to customize literally everything, which is so clutch, especially when you're trying to diet. So I started off with sourdough bread because this is super good for gut health, and then inside we have 2 maple chicken sausage patties, and then underneath it we also have some egg whites and American cheese. I'm gonna give this a first bite, and I'll let you know how it is when I'm done. I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised. That is not bad at all.
Not only was it clutch that you can customize your own meal, but the options were also a lot better than most fast food restaurants. Sourdough is great for gut health, chicken sausage and egg whites are a great lean source of protein with minimal fat, and most importantly, it wasn't greasy at all, meaning less empty calories and much better digestion.
Sandwich number 1 is down. On to sandwich number 2.
With an insane 88 grams of protein going down the hatch first thing in the morning, it was sure to keep me full for many hours ahead, which would be ideal if I was traveling on a road trip without many frequent stops. Front-loading protein early in the day is a great plan to ensure you're hitting your protein goal no matter what, especially with unknown food options and protein count later on in the day.
Woo! If I'm gonna be honest, that was way more food than I was expecting to get. I'm actually physically full right now, which I don't typically get. I thought I was gonna get 2 tiny little sandwiches with a little sausage patty, with a little egg white patty. I actually got 2 of each on both sandwiches, but on the gas station food scale, I'm gonna give that a solid 8 out of 10. I'm actually impressed, and I don't think it's gonna make me feel super bad for the rest of the day. So there's only one way to find out. I'm gonna let this digest, and then it's on to meal number 2 and the pre-workout meal, baby. I'm now at your average gas station and convenience store, Exxon to be exact, so nothing fancy here. So I'm very curious to see how I'm supposed to fuel my workout with a good pre-workout meal. Your guess is as good as mine. Whoa! Beef jerky. 260 calories, 19 grams of fat, 11 grams of protein. No thank you. How many proteins does a Hershey bar have? 5 grams of protein, but it's got a lot of sugar. Get us a real good pump today. But we're not dirty bulking, so we're putting this back. Mini energy waffles. 6 servings. I don't need a whole bag. 6 grams of fat. That's horrible.
While there were surprisingly a lot of foods loaded with protein, I was trying to find the ideal fuel for my pre-workout meal, which I wasn't finding much luck with. So I kept hunting high and low until I found exactly what I needed.
2 mega-sized Rice Krispie treats. This is exactly what we need, and I think I know exactly what I'm gonna pair with it. Perfect.
I had what I needed in hand, so I headed over to the checkout counter, got the goods, and headed home to start digging in. I believe I've designed the perfect gas station pre-workout meal, which turns out it's just TikTok's favorite pre-workout meal. You might know what it is. We have 2 Rice Krispie treats right here, but these aren't boy-sized Rice Krispie treats. These are man-sized Rice Krispie treats. Look at the size of that thing. I'll let your imagination run wild right here, but this is a lot of carbs right here, a lot of fast digesting carbs, which is part of our ideal pre-workout meal. And then what else do we have? Easy digesting protein right here. We have one of the Fairlife Core Power Shakes, 42 grams of protein. I don't want to know how they're getting 42 grams of protein out of the cows in this tiny little bottle. And then we also have a Rise Fuel right here in the cherry limeade flavor. I'm very excited to dig into this. This one is going to be extremely sweet, over the top, but I'm gonna start digging into this and I'll let you know how it is. Oh, That's buzzing though. Although you do want fast digesting carbs in your pre-workout meal to be able to use for energy and get a great pump during your workout, you probably don't want over 50 grams of sugar in one sitting for a few different reasons. Mainly because you don't want to hit a wall and crash mid-workout, but also because it may cause digestive issues. However, sugar in moderation, especially in your pre-workout meal, is fine as long as you don't overconsume it. But in my case, it's safe to say I was playing with fire. Second meal of gas station food is now done for the day, and it was a very, very sweet one. My taste buds are like freaking out, but honestly, not too bad. I'm gonna give the Core Power a 9.5 out of 10 because you guys know how good these things are. The only thing I would think is better is my Rise protein, code Casey, of course, and then the Rice Krispie Treats were also pretty good. I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. They're pretty fresh, and then I'm going to drink my Rise Fuel in the car on the way there because I wasn't gonna drink it in the mix of all this. But eating gas station food on a leg day probably was not my best idea of all time, but I will catch up with you guys when I'm at the gym starting to work out, and hopefully I don't throw up. Just crushed my Rise Fuel in the car on the way here, and now I feel the Rice Krispie Treats coursing through my veins. But this workout can go one of two ways. Either I have the most insane energy and get the most insane pump the entire time, or I absolutely crash halfway through and I feel incredibly horrible. But I guess there is only one way to find out. We have hamstrings on the menu right now. We're gonna try to hit it as hard as possible because we're still trying to grow even when we're eating gas station food. Let's get this hamstring workout underway, baby. Let's go. The workout started off a little bit slow, but luckily I didn't have a headache, which I've experienced in every other eating challenge, and overall didn't feel atrocious, so that was a win for me. One strange thing I did notice though was my mind-muscle connection was almost non-existent and I wasn't getting much of a pump, which was unusual for my hamstrings. I did, however, observe a few other abnormalities during my training about halfway through. Two things that I've gathered so far is I'm very anxious right now, and I think it might be because of the combination of such high sugar and caffeine, but I'm feeling a little bit short of breath, a little bit fatigued, a little bit anxious, but I'm also a lot weaker than I normally am right now, and I don't know exactly why that would be. I'm gonna continue trying to hit this. Hopefully it turns around. Hopefully we get an insane pump, but let's keep killing this leg press. Try to grow these legs, baby. That's all I gotta say. I was determined to be productive during my workout, so I tried to lock in as best as I could for the second half of my session to squeeze as much effective training in as I could, despite still being unable to get a significant pump in my legs. Was honestly able to redeem myself in that workout a little bit, really cranked up the intensity in that last portion, so I'm not super mad with it again. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't horrible, and now I think it's time to go fuel our post-workout self with some more gas station food. Let's see what we can get. Before I go inside and get my post-workout gas station meal, let's take a gas station and convenience store quiz. Which of the following is false? A, gas stations only make 5 to 10 cents per each gallon of gas sold. B, convenience stores sell more than 1 billion cups of coffee in the United States every single year. C, beverages are the top selling product at convenience stores with over $60 billion in annual revenue. And D, about 60% of gas stations are owned and operated by independent owners. I'll give you guys a second to really let that sink in and let your answer marinate. And the correct answer is C, it is false. Cigarettes and tobacco products are actually $60 billion in annual revenue, and number 2 is beverages at $40 billion in annual revenue. That absolutely blows my mind. I wish I had $1 billion, but let's go inside and get our food. Post-workout meal at QT, I'm honestly not kidding when I say this, it looks pretty dang good, and I am very excited to start digging in. But one thing about QT is they have a mobile app, so I was able to order and customize everything that I wanted into this, exactly like Sheets earlier, which is so clutch. And what we have right here is a turkey wrap, and this is a beefy boy. This is almost like a Chipotle burrito right here. We got turkey, we got Swiss cheese, we got a bunch of veggies in there. But one thing that was good being able to customize it at a gas station like this is I was able to take out the mayo because I didn't want a lot of fats after my workout, especially coming from mayo. That's just stuff that you kind of want to keep out of your diet when you can. We got some carbs from the tortilla, we got a bunch of protein from the turkey, a little bit from the Swiss cheese, and overall, this is not a bad post-workout meal. And pairing it with it, I have these Popcorners chips right here. It's pretty much just corn, a little bit of oil in there, a little bit of sugar as well, but we're not too worried about that post-workout. This looks like a great meal right here. This is something I would actually maybe eat on a regular day, so I'm very excited. Let's dig in, let you know how it is once I'm done, but first bite. Look how big this is. Like, for like $7, $10 total with that, I am not mad about that at all. Let's get a big old bite so that I can hopefully get everything. Yeah, W moment. I am thoroughly impressed. I'll give you guys a rating once I'm done eating, but
post leg day meal, not too shabby.
Surprisingly, QT was the same story as Sheetz was earlier in the day. The selection of wraps and subs available was quite impressive, and the ability to customize my food proved to be very handy. This allowed me to craft a post-workout meal that was at least somewhat close to ideal for my goals, with another high carb, moderate protein, and lower fat meal.
Woo! Look at that, gotta get up, jog a little bit, because that was so good. That was way better than I was expecting. I was expecting a very mid wrap. That was like a 9 out of 10 wrap. They gave me a lot of turkey, not expected. The wrap tasted fresh. The vegetables tasted fresh. The popcorners were good. That's all I gotta say. I am thoroughly impressed with QT. Overall, GOAT gas station right here, but we still got more gas station food to eat, and we have the calorie, macro, and price breakdown for the whole day. Don't go anywhere. You don't wanna miss it. Did somebody say late night gas station run? Even though I didn't need gas, I figured it was only right in this video that I got some gas. See, it only took about 10 bucks. The goods. Don't you dare get one of these things.
Have a good night.
Hey, Muffy. Hey, dude. Tucking. Hey, dude. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, last meal of the day is now upon us, and I am joined by Mr. Tucker, who just wanted to be on camera today. But this meal is what I call filling my macros for the day and finding what fits. And before us, we have 2 Barebell protein bars. One of them is the caramel cashew bar. The other one is the cookies and cream bar. I am very excited for these, and Tucker is also very excited for these because he just couldn't get enough sniffs of them, but I haven't had these in forever, and these are 2 of my very favorite protein bars of all time, even though I don't typically have protein bars because the sugar alcohols mess up my stomach. So these might cause a little bit of digestive distress, but I'm gonna try them anyway, and I am very excited. I'll give you a rating on how they are at the end. Will you too, Tucker? Cookies and cream down the hatch. That is the best protein bar on the market.
If you're trying to stay on top of your diet while traveling, it'll come down to 3 key strategies. Firstly, plan ahead as much as possible and bring a cooler with your normal meal prep to stay completely on top of it. Secondly, if that's not possible, then find protein first to keep you satiated and to ensure you're hitting your target amount of protein for the day. And lastly, don't throw your whole diet out the window because of one missed meal or one poor food choice. They happen, but realize that one mistake or one planned cheat meal doesn't mean you go off the rails for the duration of your trip. Do the absolute best you can and don't beat yourself up if it's slightly less than ideal. Because remember, 80% is a lot better than 0%.
I've now successfully put my digestive health on the line for the next 3 days for a YouTube science experiment by finishing these 2 protein bars and my digestive health tonight, because I know this is gonna make my stomach go crazy with them sugar alcohols. But the caramel cashew, I'm gonna give like a 7 out of 10. Not as good as I remembered. The cookies and cream, I'm actually gonna give it 8.5 out of 10 because that is like the max score I will ever give any protein bar, because I am not the biggest protein bar fan, but we filled the macros and now it is on to the calorie, macro, price, and experience breakdown. Let's run it, and make sure you stick around because some of the results may shock you. Good boy, Tucky. Good boy, good boy. But if this video gets 20,000 likes, I will do an experiment like this for 7 days straight. 7 days of eating only gas station food. If you guys want to see it, you know what you have to do. But
the morning of the challenge, I weighed in at 182.7 pounds, and the morning after, I weighed in at 180.5, which means technically I lost 2 pounds from eating at gas stations, but that's almost certainly from the small food volume consumed compared to my regular diet. Now onto the calorie, macro, price, and experience breakdown. I was almost able to perfectly match them to my regular full day of eating, but a few things to note. Again, sodium is over 6 grams, and protein was actually quite high at 214 grams. And the total price came to an astounding $44.90, which is $3 cheaper than my fast food day of eating, but still $30 more expensive than my regular budget-friendly full day of eating, which is absolutely insane and just goes to show you you are paying for the convenience when you travel and when you're on the road. So if you want to avoid the price altogether, make sure you prep your food. Every gas station has microwaves and they have all sauces for you, so that is a great option when you're traveling. If I'm gonna be honest, I felt pretty decent the whole day, minus the little bit of digestive distress that I'm experiencing right now from the protein bars, but I would never recommend doing this regularly because of the lack of micronutrients and fiber, which won't make you feel good in the long run, especially over weeks and months. But to answer my question at the beginning of the video, yes, there is enough high protein food at gas stations to build muscle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and use code Casey. Remember, I'm not special, I'm just consistent. I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Peace.